hotel shouldn't be too expensive. We're staying at room 13. Usually airy and usually very, and that's just how my life goes. And I don't ever try to dress to impress. Fuck you, preppy asshole. On the 14th floor and a bathroom door don't lie. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the bodies mix, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome into episode 20 of Phired Up, presented by the Belly Up Podcast Network. My name is Mike Giletto. Joining me, as usual, is Dom Console. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? I'm fired up. Every time I watch the intro now, I'm going to be fired up.
Dude, it's a perfect intro to the show.
It's just like I get chills every time I watch the next part. Like, you see Harper hit the bomb, like he runs around like it's Little League. And then and then after that, then the windmill dunk by Dr. J, then the Victorino homer. Dude, it just keeps hitting me.
Yep, and then it just starts with the Dawkins hit on Algie Crumpler,
Right.
Like, gets you right in the mood, gets you fired up for the show.
Yep.
But dude, the Phillies finding ways to reel us back in like they always do. We're 6 days away from Eagles football, so that's exciting. Ben Simmons drama, I guess it's another Monday night in Philadelphia because there's Ben Simmons drama. It's gonna be a fun show tonight. I'm excited.
Yep, for sure. And just like you said, the Phillies just reeling us back in, like they say in The Sopranos. I think I quote tweeted it. Silvio always says, what's the line? Just when I'm out, they pull me right back in.
Yep.
From The Godfather 3. So
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's the 1.5 games out. That's it.
I mean, it's shocking. It's shocking in that it's not.
Right.
Just because this is who they are. Hot and then cold, and then hot and then cold. They'll have a good half of the week, first half of the week, and then they'll suck the second half of the week, or vice versa. So,
yeah, but I mean, you had
roller coaster ride.
Yeah, they destroyed the Brewers in Game 1 today on Labor Day, 12-0. You had a great start from Zach Wheeler, who was dominant, back to his old self. So I mean, that's definitely good to see. But can they do it? Can they make the playoffs? Can they make a run here?
I think it's all going to depend on Atlanta. I really do. I mean, and going to the game today. I mean, just talking about the game today, like they had a lot of homers today too. Like I think Galvis started it off with a homer, a solo homer.
Galvis has 3 in 4 games, I believe.
Yeah. So Galvis with a solo, then Harper hit a 2-run homer. Brad Miller hit a solo, I believe. It was 4-0. It was 4-0 for a while, and then the 8th inning hit, and then Segura hit they were up 7-0, I think, and then Segura hit the grand slam.
Right. Yep. Yeah, definitely would have signed up for 1.5 games out at the beginning of September. Like at this point, that's all we really asked for is just be in the hunt, be in the race. I mean, when's the last time we were this close to a playoff spot this late in the season? It's been a while.
Well, last year,
I don't think we were this close.
Yeah, they had to win 2 of 3 against Tampa in the last weekend series last year, and they shit the bed. They got swept.
That's right. I do actually remember that.
But other than that, I mean, it's been 2011, 12?
Exactly. So we're getting excited, and I don't want to hear any of the stuff like, do you really want this team to make the playoffs? Right? Like, they're not gonna make a big run, but dude, just get in. Do I expect any sort of big run? No, I don't. But I don't get the idea of what's the point because they're just gonna lose when they get there. Just we haven't seen playoff baseball in a decade. Let's just get there and let's just enjoy the ride. That's it. For sure,
I've been saying that from the beginning. I just selfishly, even if they get swept in the first series, I just want playoff baseball. Dude, how many times have I said it? I'm pretty sure I said it on the previous episode. how insane would it be if you woke up on a Sunday and the Eagles played at 1 and the Phillies played at 7? Like,
Right.
that would be unbelievable.
Yep.
We haven't had that since 2011. So just get in. Let's have a little bit of fun. Hopefully they could win a series or a couple games, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just like Don says, just another day in the life of a Philly fan, right? It's constant up and downs, right?
It's a fast pass in Disney World, right on the roller coasters, up and down, up and down,
Up and down. That's it. Especially this team, because I mean we've said it before. They're a streaky team where like the streakiness works both ways. Like they'll be hot for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then they'll be ice cold for a week. And like what they score 7+ runs in like 7 games,
Yeah,
or 7
Yeah, in a
straight
row,
games.
yeah,
I mean that's insane.
and then they get swept by Miami. Or they lose 2 or 3 from
There
Miami.
was 2 or 3, yeah.
Right.
So
They
that's
almost got swept.
right. Yeah.
They had to win in extra innings yesterday. So, it's they swept Washington, and then they almost get swept by one of the worst teams in baseball. So it's definitely that roller coaster ride.
Absolutely.
And now they're playing a first place Milwaukee team that is gonna win the division. Obviously,
Yep.
I think they're like 9 games up from Cincinnati or 11 games. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, and Cincinnati, I don't know if I want to call it sliding, but they're out of the wild card race now. So
Right.
I mean that's another team, the Phillies, if they want to go wild card route. I don't think it's going to happen in the wild card. I think if they make the playoffs, it's going in the division.
Right.
But it's just since Cincinnati's. What happened to Castellanos? Like dude, I was checking the I
bat?
was checking. What was
Right?
that?
Was it something like with his bat or something?
Is that what it was?
I don't
dude,
even know.
I was checking the odds on MVP. Dude, he's plus 900 with the season he's having.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, dude, we talked about
Why
it 2 weeks.
so low? Yeah.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, he was
Nobody's
hitting
talking
318
about
at that point. Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
And he's not even probably like the guys that are in front of him are Harper, Tatis, Freeman, and there's somebody else I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's like 5th or 6th on the list.
Tatis is a heavy favorite. He's like minus 200
Yeah,
or something like that.
yeah, that's that.
So-
Yeah, that's chump
Yeah.
change.
Right, yeah, exactly. I'll have to see what it is. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves.
But yeah, I saw something about Castellanos. He gave away his bat or something because he got in trouble. I don't know. It was something stupid.
Oh, really?
I saw him give it to a
that.
fan or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe he just gave it to him. I don't even know. But I saw that yesterday or today. I think it was.
Oh, Castellanos is now plus 10,000. So there you go.
Yeah, he's not winning it.
No.
There's no.
But
way.
I mean, we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago. Like it wasn't insane. Like 'cause he just
Right.
fell off. Like
He's still, yeah.
yeah, I mean Tatis, Harper, Freeman, Muncy, Turner, Soto, Votto, and Austin Riley are ahead
Yeah,
of him.
Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
But-
yeah, so like I get what's he hit? Do you have his stats up right now or?
Who's that? Castellanos?
Yeah.
I do not. 1 second.
So he hasn't been hitting the way he's been hitting the last couple of weeks. So I guess if he's sliding and the team is sliding, his chances are going to go down.
Right.
So
He is batting. He's still batting 320.
oh, okay.
320, 26 home runs, 78 RBIs.
Isn't it crazy that the NL MVP isn't going to hit whoever it is isn't going to hit over 100 RBIs?
Right. Probably not.
It's Freeman. Freeman's in the 70s, I think. Harper's whatever he's at. He's had an unbelievable August.
Yeah. I mean, in August, I have it right here. In August, he batted 337, 11 doubles, 1 triple, 10 home runs, 25 RBIs, 1.2 OPS. I mean, he's been an absolute monster in the month of August.
Right. He's been incredible. When I went to Boston, actually, they had like an Airbnb we were at. They had like a huge chalkboard, and I wrote like everybody writes their name. Fuck that! I wrote Harper MV3.
Right.
Leave it for those Boston people.
Right. Exactly. But Tatis has 85 RBI, so he could get there.
3 weeks left. It's
Yeah,
tough.
he could get there. That'll be tough.
What's he
but
been doing? What's he been doing the last like week or two? Because I know he's been cold.
Yeah, he has been cold. He's picked it back up a little bit.
Okay.
His average is 280 right now, so he's still
Yeah, I think
kind
he
of
was at
holding
2
the pace.
When we talked last week, yeah,
275 I
like-
think he was last week.
Yeah, 275, 278, something like that.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible for him, but he's really gotta step it up a little bit.
He's had 7 RBIs in the last week.
What's Harper at right now? Like average RBIs.
I'll check for you.
Just because, like you just said about the month of August was unbelievable.
It was insane. Harper is batting .301 currently. He's got 27 home runs and 64 RBIs.
Okay, so he's got 66 because they didn't go in from today. So he hit a 2-run homer today, and then hit his 28th. So yeah,
Right.
so he's how many RBIs?
64.
So it'll be 66. Okay, yeah, he's not getting over 100. Freeman, I think, was in the 70s last week.
Right.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. When's the last time the top 4 guys for the NL
Right,
MVP
none of them. Yeah, I know.
weren't even around, weren't really around 100 RBIs? It's crazy.
It's insane. But it's been a weird year.
Yeah.
And Tatis definitely would have got it if he didn't miss a bunch of time. I mean, same with Harper.
Right. Yeah,
So,
it's possible.
You know,
And maybe
the injuries really hurt.
maybe Castellanos doesn't, it wouldn't even get any recognition if these guys didn't get hurt. So,
Right. Yeah, that's probably true. It's probably just them two.
Right.
And that's it. Because, I
Right.
mean, Harper's numbers might even be better if he didn't get hurt, in a sense of, not just because he missed time and the numbers, the RBI total is going to go up, but, if you remember, he was playing hurt for, a 2-week stretch, and he
Right.
was dreadful. He couldn't swing a bat.
right.
So, if he doesn't have the 2-week stretch of being dreadful, I mean, he might be even better. His numbers might be better.
There you go. Salvi Perez, my boy, killing
Salvi
it.
Perez killing it behind. Yeah, I know. I'm
Is
playing.
he over
against him.
100 yet? Is he over 100 yet?
I don't know. Did he do anything today? I'm playing against him in my fantasy baseball playoff. This week started week 1. So I'm playing against him this week. Let me check.
Yeah, I know. Last week when we talked, it was 35 and 94 or something.
He has 41 home runs, 103 RBIs.
Yeah, so he had a big week.
I mean,
That's my boy. I love Salvi.
that's absurd for a
Yeah.
catcher. For
Yeah,
a catcher,
yeah.
that is batshit insane.
And especially for him because he's a 25 and 80 guy, 25 homers, 80 RBIs.
Right.
Hits just under 300, in the 280s, 290s.
Yeah. Maybe he's got to be
yeah.
checked for the juice. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. And he's only 31, so
Right.
I mean,
Exactly, but those numbers are stupid. I wonder if he gets any MVP love. I mean, probably not because you're going
check
up
the odds.
against.
yeah. I mean, he's not going to win it, but
you're going against Ohtani and
Right.
Vlad, and so I mean he's not going to win, but I can check the odds.
yeah, I'm just kind of curious where they think he's at in all this.
plus 15,000.
Yeah.
So he's got worse odds than Ohtani, Vlad, Matt Olson, Aaron Judge, Devers, and Bogarts, both in
Jesus.
Boston. Marcus Semien, Cedric Mullins, Bo Bichette, and then Salvador Perez.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's probably because he plays for Kansas City, but
Yeah, it's possible.
yeah, I mean Bogarts was having a sneaky good year too.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
sure-
I think he's out for another week though. I think he just got put
Yeah.
on the COVID list or something.
When I was at the game on the 13th of August, he was hitting 306, 70 something RBIs and 28 homers, I think it was, or 30 homers, somewhere around there.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he was having a sneaky good year. I really didn't realize how good of a year he was actually having, and how he's actually a very underrated player. But
He
yeah,
is.
I don't know about the other guys off the top of my head, but I love Salvi. Salvi kills it
He's great. He's just, it's stupid. It's stupid what he's doing for a catcher.
for sure.
So we have tomorrow's a big game. I mean, it's getting to the point where every game is crucial, and you have Aaron Nola, we know what Nola's been this year, right? He's been very inconsistent. He's given us games that we don't necessarily want to see with your ace on the mound. So we need to see a consistent, solid game. I don't need him to throw a no-hitter. I just need a good, consistent, solid game from Aaron Nola tomorrow night.
For sure. 7 innings, go through the lineup a couple times. He's been, for his career, he's been really bad in September too.
Yep.
So I'm kind of curious. I don't know if curious is the right word, but I kind of want to see how he comes out this year with the chance to win the division and make the playoffs, to maybe solidify himself as the ace, or take those what's it called, bad history and kind of rewrite history a little bit here with maybe being good in September this year. So,
Right.
I mean, it's definitely going to be tough tomorrow. Milwaukee's a very good team. They got a scary lineup. Yelich is having a sneaky good year too. So,
And you just shut them out today. What are the
Right.
chances that happens 2 nights in a row? You know
for
what I
sure,
mean?
and you did it against their ace, right? So,
Right. Yeah, I guess. Right. This year he probably isn't. It's probably Burns this year. But
Okay.
Woodruff's been struggling. Burns is probably top. He might even be a Cy Young candidate at this point.
right. So you're going up against one of the best guys
Yep.
in Milwaukee. So, yeah, I mean, I expect Milwaukee to respond tomorrow night. So, we'll see.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. I'm trying to look for the Cy Young odds now. Oh yeah. Yeah. Corbin Burns has the third best odds,
Okay.
and then Woodruff's right behind him.
Right. Where's Wheeler
So-
at in that?
Wheeler is right behind Woodruff. So it goes
Okay.
Walker Buehler, Max Scherzer, Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, and then Zach Wheeler
Nah.
at plus 800. But he's tailed off within the last month, so he's
Zach
not winning
Wheeler?
it. Yeah, Wheeler.
No, I was just curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just curious
He's
how they
the man.
still felt, where they felt about him now.
Well, I mean, a month ago he was probably second or third.
A month and a half ago, he was probably first.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because a month and a half ago, that probably puts you before the Scherzer trade. I mean, Scherzer numbers were probably still good enough, but
right.
yeah, it's probably Bueller and Wheeler at that point.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll see what happens down the stretch here. I'm just I kind of want to go into to Eagles talk. You ready for Eagles, or you got anything else to say Phillies wise?
I've been ready for the Eagles since February. But I want to get fired up here. I want to get fired up here.
Absolutely, we're gonna get fired up here.
Oh yes, we
All
are.
right, let's do it. Six days away from Eagles football. And there you have it.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
I'm ready to run through a wall right now.
Absolutely. Listen, it's football. It's Eagles football. I don't care that I think this team's probably going to stink. I don't care. It's Eagles football in 6 days. Let's get it.
Let's go. I'm ready to go. I might go to Atlanta myself right now. I might fly there myself and
sure you
fucking
wanna go
suit
to
up.
Atlanta?
Let's go.
You sure?
I have heard things about that stadium actually, how beautiful it is, but if you walk down the wrong street,
Oh, sure.
you're not in a good area. So
Well, you
maybe
can say the same thing about
we'll wait a week.
Philadelphia. You can say the
Not
same thing
by the
about Philadelphia.
stadiums, but
Well, you're not by
around the
stadium,
stadiums. It's pretty nice, but
right.
yeah, maybe I'll wait another week till they come here.
Yeah.
Against San Francisco.
Exactly. Yeah. Wait a week. So we did have the I just had it up. We did have the obviously final roster, 53-man roster. I was just gonna kind of go down position by position and see if there's anything that stands out. Yeah. Let's just start on offense. Quarterback, no real secret or surprise. Hurts, Flacco, Minshew after that trade that we discussed last week. Any notes or news there?
Yeah. No. Well, we talked about it last week, like you said, Minshew trade. And then they named Hurts the guy. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Right. And then the running back I think is intriguing. A few weeks ago when we talked about our predictions for the roster and the final roster, we both thought they were going to have a 4-man unit, right? But not sure. They went 3. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and then rookie Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, so the things I've been reading is that they sent Howard to the practice squad for money purposes, like money issues.
Right.
And the things that I've read is that they're planning on having him signed before the week starts, before Sunday. So that could come
Wouldn't
tomorrow.
surprise
That
me.
could come Sunday morning. I don't know how it works or how it's going to work. But I
Dude,
do think that they
football
do add
contracts.
the 4th guy.
Football contracts confuse the absolute shit out of me.
Yeah,
It makes no
they
sense.
are paying him peanuts if compared to what football contracts are. Like I think they're paying him under $1 million. I could be wrong about that, but I believe I heard something where they could pay him under $1 million.
I think people still
for
forget
being on the
too,
practice squad.
He's only like he's still in his mid-20s.
He's like 26.
Yeah, it's insane. Like I think of Jordan Howard, and I think of like a grizzled vet, 32 years old. Like, no, he's 26 years old. It's insane.
Yeah, it's only like his 5th or 6th year in the league.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of wear and tear on his body, but
the Chicago days did that to him for sure.
Yeah, but he's not your cowbell. Like, he's not your main guy. He's not your every down back. So like if he's got to have 5 to 10 carries a game, you're fine. But I do think eventually, if it's not this week, he will make his way back on the roster. And this Kenneth Gainwell kid, I mean, I've heard nothing but great things throughout training camp. And
he looks good.
He's looked good. Yeah, I mean, you can't really rely on a rookie too much, but I think he'll get himself a couple carries here and a couple catches. And like I said, Boston's guy, I think they have him on the roster as a special teams guy. So.
Do you think that Scott is the guy for the special teams, the punt returner, or the kick returner, or whatever? And then you think Gainwell is their third down back, or do you think Gainwell's not even going to get that many snaps and Sanders is just your workhorse 3 down back?
So the way that I think it's going to work is, I think Boston Scott's going to be a special teams guy, but I don't think he's going to start off doing kick returns and punt returns. I think he's there because they've had so many issues in the past with guys being hurt. So it's just another guy on the roster.
Who do they put out there? Rager,
yeah. I think Rager does the kicks and the punts. Or maybe he does the punts and Scott does the kicks. But I know in preseason they started off with Rager doing both, I believe. So, but I do think Boston Scott, that's part of the reason why he's on the roster is that he...
A little more versatility.
Right,
yeah.
right. And they've had, like I said, they've had issues with punt returners and kick returners being hurt. So it's just another guy on the roster you could throw back there in the middle of a game if a guy gets hurt. He can also catch the ball a little bit. I don't think Gainwell is going to have a huge part in this offense in the first 6 or 7 weeks. But I do think by week 10, week 11, he's going to be more important to this offense.
Right,
I do think Sanders is going to be the first and second down back. I think Howard's going to be the third down back if they do promote him to the main roster. So and then those two guys are going to interchange. They're going to catch the ball, Scott and Gainwell. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, and I is a good question from Don, who's the guy that you're most excited for this season. For me, like the offense I think revolves around Jalen Hurts. I've said it in the past, but like it kind of ties it together with the running back room, and Nick Sirianni's running backs have all been really good in his days in Indy. So I'm just really excited to see Miles Sanders in his offense. Do you have anybody in particular that you're most excited for?
Just anybody on the offense?
Yeah, anybody at all.
Yeah, so like you said, it's going to be interesting seeing Hurts this year. I'm like you said, run heavy offense with Sanders. I'm excited to see that, but obviously Devontae. Just seeing the impact, and Watkins too. I'm kind of
I was going to get to the wide receivers in a second. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. So if I had to go running back, I actually am as excited as I am for Miles Sanders. I am very excited to see Gainwell too and see what he can do as a rookie.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the wide receivers, Devontae Smith, Greg Ward, Jalen Rager, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside for some reason, Quez Watkins, and then Michael Walker, who is on IR.
Yeah, so actually the J.J. Arcega-Whiteside thing, I think I know why they kept him. I think part of it is how he's...
he doesn't want to give up on his
guy.
Yeah,
right.
Doesn't want to give up on his second round pick. It's exactly what it is.
Right. It's an ego thing. I think that's part of it, but I also think another part of it is giving this kid a chance with a head coach that used to be a wide receiver coach. Let's see if this guy can maximize his talent. New system. Everything you hear about this system so far in this coach has been positive things. It's the most fun guys have had, apparently. So I think they're going to give him one more shot with this new coaching regime, and because Nick Sirianni was a wide receivers coach, I think they're going to give him the shot. And if it doesn't happen this year, it's over.
My real only issue with it is, I didn't expect Travis Fulgham to be some sort of diamond in the rough, right? Any sort of stud, anything like that. But at the same time, he's given everything you've asked for in terms of consistency and just catching the football when it gets to him. That's really it. So I was really upset that they just didn't give him the roster spot over our J.J. Arcega-Whiteside because we haven't seen anything from him. I've seen a lot more from Travis Fulgham than I have from Arcega-Whiteside.
Yeah, and I agree with that to a certain extent because he had those 3 or 4 or 5 great weeks last year, but then they kind of went away from him for a certain reason, and nobody really knew why. and now we saw it kind of in training camp. He was really bad in training camp. Like the first
yeah.
2 weeks, they were saying that he was with the first team offense, and by the third week he was almost in the third team offense because he had the most dropped balls. I think he just couldn't catch basic things, and it might be in between the ears. I don't think it's a talent problem because we've seen him have 8 catch games, consistency things. But they put him on the practice squad, and he might make the roster. They said he could be another guy that could possibly make the roster in the next couple weeks. But
I've also heard and read things that is maybe not necessarily a talent issue like you said, but that it could be a work ethic thing. Like he just doesn't put in the work at practice, which it might have something to do with it.
For sure, that could also be it too. That it might not be in between the ears. It might be that work ethic. Yeah. But another guy that actually I'm kind of intrigued, and I kind of hope they don't get too cute with, and they keep him as that third down because the last few years he's been that third down, hands with gold, Greg Ward. I kind of hope they kind of keep him in the role that he's set for, that slot receiver, reliable on third down. I just don't want to see them get too cute with him.
Right.
So, but we'll see. We'll see with him too. I'm kind of excited to see what he does this year too.
Yeah, I'm not really expecting a whole lot from Greg Ward. I know this fan base loves him.
Right.
But I'm not really expecting much. If that makes sense.
No, me neither. I'm not expecting a 1,000-yard, 75 catch, 80 catch season. But I just kind of am curious. I'm not excited. More curious to see how they run him in this offense.
Wrong button. I'm excited. I'm excited to see. That was from when we did when we did the Space Jam. Yeah. That wrong button. I meant to hit his button. I'm excited to see Quez Watkins.
He's the fastest kid alive.
He's the fastest
That's what I meant. That's what I meant to press. So yeah, no, I'm excited to see Quez Watkins just because, like I said, Fulgham, I wasn't expecting to be necessarily a diamond in the rough. I think Quez Watkins has the ability to be that.
No, I agree. And I'm not comparing him to Tyreek Hill, but to be able to catch the ball and run fast, only 5 guys in the league can do that, even if that, and he might be one of them. So,
right.
Just going from 0 to 100, you're born with that. You're not taught how to do that. So I'm hoping we see a lot more. There you go.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So.
He's the fastest kid alive. Yeah.
We're gonna play that 1,000 times this season.
Yes. If Watkins has a big game, we're gonna start the show off after the intro. We're gonna start off with he's the fastest kid alive.
He's the fastest kid alive.
There you go. So let's move on.
Top
to the
5
tight
comedy
end.
for me.
I told you you've said your top 3. I think last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
One day coming up here, we'll do a top 10 list of your favorite comedies.
For sure.
We'll do it.
For sure.
We don't have enough time this week. We got too much.
Nah. Because Ben Simmons has to be a little bitch. But go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So
we'll get into that.
Dallas Goedert, Zach Ertz, Zach Stoll, and then Tyree Jackson, who's out for like 8 to 10 weeks. He's on the IR.
Yeah. Do you want to start off with this one or?
I mean, I think the surprising thing is unless they did something that I'm not aware of, no Richard Rodgers.
I think he's hurt.
Is he hurt?
I don't know. I could have made that up.
Right. I don't have him listed right where my sheet is, but that could be true. There's going to be a lot of two tight end sets in Goddard and Ertz. I think they're going to split pretty much production from the tight end spot.
No, for sure. I could be wrong about that Richard Rodgers thing, but I thought I remember him getting hurt, but yeah, I mean the things that I've seen from Jackson or heard from Tyrese Jackson, I know he's out 8 to 10 weeks, but they said he was very likely to be the third tight end. So
he looked really good.
Yeah. So same thing with Jack Stoll. I think he looked really good too in training camp and in the preseason. I think Ertz is going to have a sneaky good year. I do.
Right.
I think people just being out on him is kind of crazy right now. I just think he's going to be that security blanket for Jalen Hurts. He's he's only like 25 catches away from passing Harold Carmichael for like the most receptions.
Who?
Zach Ertz.
Oh, for most receptions, I believe it. Yeah, absolutely, I believe it.
Yeah. So, just being a third down blanket. Experience.
So they did release Richard Rodgers. I don't see anything about an injury.
Okay. All right. So yeah, maybe it was just the release. But yeah, Goddard and Ertz. You know, I'm excited to see the 2-man set.
Right.
I think Ertz is going to have better year than people are really projecting him to.
Yeah, I'm hit or miss with Zach Ertz. I think he's a really good route runner. He knows how to get open, and he knows how to catch the ball when it gets to him. The knock against Ertz is he just falls to the ground whenever he catches the ball. So I need to see a little more in that aspect. But I
he's
think
not
going to
do that.
No, he's probably not. But that's what Goddard can do. Goddard's better with the catch and run type thing.
I agree completely, but Goddard's got to stay on the field too. Like Ertz has been very, very, very reliable in being on the field. Aside from last year, because I think he was hurt last year, but for most of his career, he's been available, and I think your best ability is availability. So, especially on this team, so I think Goddard could be better than Ertz if he stays healthy, and like that's the issue with his career so far is him staying healthy.
Right.
And did you see what he said today or yesterday?
I did not.
They asked him, like, how do you feel about Zach Ertz? Like, you know, you're getting ready to get your second contract in the NFL, your first big contract. Like, how do you feel with Ertz? And he said, the only thing I know and I'm paraphrasing here, the only thing I know in my career is playing with Ertz. Like, I don't know anything else. So he said, I love Zach and I love playing with him. And he said, I think defenses are more concerned about us two being on the field than I'm concerned about him being on the field. So you like to hear that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I'm expecting big things from the tight end, and I just think it's gonna. We've talked about it before. It's gonna be a very running back heavy offense, but I think it also is gonna revolve around the tight ends a lot. And there's gonna be a lot of two tight end sets.
Well, yeah, because they're your experience on the skill position guys on offense. I mean, that's your experience right there. So.
Yep, absolutely. And then left tackle Jordan Mailata, Andre Dillard, and Brett Toth. Sorry, I don't even know if I said that right. I don't even know who the fuck that guy is. But, I mean, the big one is Jordan Mailata over Andre Dillard. I don't think it's any sort of surprise.
Right.
Then left guard Isaac Seumalo, center Jason Kelsey, Nate Herbig, Landon Dickerson. Right guard Brandon Brooks, right tackle Lane Johnson, and Jack Driscoll, who is currently on the IR.
Yeah, I think sooner than later you could possibly see Dickerson move into that left guard role, depending on how Seumalo plays. I think Seumalo, I don't hate Seumalo like a lot of people do. If they really.
No, he's not
fine.
He hasn't been a stud. He's reliable. He's reliable. Fine. Yeah.
But I think if you can get better, you might as well. I don't know if Dickerson is better. He could stink. I don't know. But I do think they're going to give him time to kind of play with the team and get to know his teammates on the field.
He's been hurt, right?
And if it doesn't happen this year, it's next year.
Right.
Yeah, he's tore his ACL last year, so
right, exactly. So.
He's actually early, or it might have been an Achilles. I don't even know. But yeah, he's been sidelined since the national championship game.
Right.
Right before the national championship game. So he's actually early. He's come back early, so we'll see.
Right.
But everybody else you said is there, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And again,
Kelsey
I think the Mailata is the big one for me. And I mean, Jason Kelsey, that was obvious. Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson, they're obvious.
As long as the right side stays healthy, it's business like it is every day. And then you just kind of not worry about the left side, but you don't have to worry about the right side. You're not looking at the right side all game saying what the hell is the right side doing. You know that as long as they're healthy and they're out there and they're playing, you're good to go. And you might have to. Keep your eye on Mailata and see if he could do what he did last year, and same thing with Sam.
Yeah, the right side will be fine as long as Brandon Brooks doesn't get another injury, as long as Lane Johnson doesn't get popped for PEDs
I knew
again.
You were going to say that. That's taxes and you saying that Lane Johnson with the popping PEDs. So.
Exactly. It's fine. Let's move on to the defense. Defensive ends, Brandon Graham, Ryan Kerrigan, Taron Jackson, Javon Hargraves, Marlon Tui Pelotu, I think I said that right.
I believe so.
Fletcher Cox, Milton Williams, Hassan Ridgway, T.Y. McGill, Derek Barnett, and Josh Sweat. That's the defensive line.
So I'm like I said before, I'm most intrigued to see how Kerrigan does this year. You know how I feel about Fletcher's cock.
I wasn't expecting
I
that.
like Fletcher's cock. No,
You do.
I'm
You
just
do
kidding.
like Fletcher's cock.
Yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about Brandon Graham.
Yep.
I think this is one of the very few weaknesses of the defense, or of really of the team. So I'm excited to see this defensive line in these rotations. Yeah, and I'm ready to see them hit the quarterback and Fletcher whip his cock. So
There you go. Let's move on to the
I'm sorry.
linebackers now. Alex Singleton, Davion Taylor, Eric Wilson, T.J. Edwards, Sean Bradley. I'm sorry, Jannard Avery, Patrick Johnson, Joe Ostman.
okay, so why don't you take this one? What do you think about this?
It's thin. Like linebacker's been an issue really for the last couple of years. It's thin. Singleton, I've been a big critic on in the past. Looked, I think, pretty damn good in preseason for what I was expecting him to. Eric Wilson's fine, but after those two guys, I think it falls off pretty quick. And I think it's the biggest weakness on the defense.
For sure, I agree. I agree completely. I want to see before I anoint and I'm not saying you are, but I'm saying before I anoint Singleton like this, like savior on defense, like a lot of people are, and like
Yeah,
maybe not savior on defense, but like this we can rely on 49. Like let's see him do it again. Let's see if he can prove himself. There's been a lot of one-hit wonders in the NFL.
Right. Well, the way I'm seeing it is, I've seen him suck for the last couple years, or at least last year. So, I saw him look decent in preseason. I'm just expecting. I'm just going in saying, all right, I hope this guy doesn't suck. I don't think he's gonna suck. I'm not saying this guy's gonna be good. I just don't think he's gonna suck based on what I've seen in preseason.
Right. I just think it's scary that he's probably your best linebacker. So like
He is. Yep.
Like I don't know. Like that's the thing is like I've said it on the show before. Like look at the Final Four teams every year. Like they have 3 or 4 linebackers that you can rely on, and great
Tampa Bay
players.
won that way.
Tampa Bay
Yeah.
won because of their linebackers and because of their great defense. And Brady played well.
And one guy named Tom Brady, but I digress.
Right. but like just those linebackers, like they had 3 picks in the playoffs or 4 picks in the playoffs. Like I mean they were huge.
Right.
So I just don't see not making it a priority to bring in linebackers, especially with a guy like Howie Roseman who loves to draft. Like he likes bringing in draft picks and like drafting guys so they're cheap, and you get the most out of these guys who are cheap for 4 years. So like I don't know what this Davion Taylor guy is. He's a 3rd round pick who didn't play last year. So like, are we really going to rely on this guy who didn't play last year, a 3rd round pick? But like at the same time, it's like I want him to draft guys. So I don't know. We'll just really have to see with these linebackers. And like you said, we'll have to see with Singleton, see what he does this year. Can he be reliable? Can he be decent? Can he be good? Like what is he?
Right. Exactly. All right, so let's move on to the cornerbacks. Darius Slay, Zach McPherson, Steven Nelson, Avonte Maddox, Andre Cheshire. Did I say that right? I don't know. And Josiah Scott.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, a couple of those guys worked at Popeyes last week, but
Well, yeah, I mean, you have obviously the two main guys in Darius Slay and Steven Nelson, and we've seen Maddox for the last couple of years, so we know what he is. Zach McPherson's looked pretty good in training camp, so I'm excited to see when he gets an opportunity how he does with it.
Yeah.
And the rest of the guys I couldn't tell you a damn thing about.
right, yeah. So Nelson was one of the top cornerbacks in the league 2-3 years ago. So let's see if he still has it in the tank. He's still in his 20s, so he's not old by any stretch. Slay, I think, had Go ahead.
And a 1-year deal where he's got something to kind of prove and yeah.
Slay, on the other hand, I love Slay. He's probably one of my favorite Eagles. 2 bad games last year, and everybody jumps on him.
Yep.
I'm excited to see him play with another good cornerback, or hopefully a good cornerback. Avonte Maddox, I love in the slot. It's good to have a good slot guy behind him too. Hopefully, a good slot guy behind him, and McPherson. Because Maddox, if we know one thing about Avonte Maddox, is he doesn't play 16 games, or 17 this year. But so it's good to have depth there. So as long as these guys stay healthy, I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I really don't want to see the guy who was flipping burgers last week start on the outside. I really don't.
That would be bad, and there'd be a lot of high scoring games.
Right.
So then safety, we got Rodney McLeod, Kevon Wallace, Blake Countess, Anthony Harris, Marcus Epps, Obi Malifonwu. Did I say that right?
I think so. Sure.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. What do you got for the safeties?
So Obi-Wan was a really he was like a highly sought prospect like 2 or 3 years ago when he was drafted. I think he was like a second or third round pick. I think they put him in the cornerback position. I believe, I could be totally wrong. I think the Raiders drafted him, but he was really like a safety. So hopefully they put him in the right position and maybe they steal one, diamond in the rough, kind of steal a guy out from underneath from all these teams. So,
right.
I'm excited to see Harris. He looks like a tackling machine. Rodney McLeod, we know who Rodney is. He won a Super Bowl here. Love the guy. Not the greatest player in the world, but, just a very reliable guy. He's got to stay healthy, too. He's got that C on his jersey this year.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, again, if we don't have to see these guys that were flipping burgers last week, we're good.
Absolutely. But I am excited because I was really high on him last year. Kevon Wallace. I'm just curious to see what he's going to do this year because I really didn't even see much of him in training camp and preseason. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But
Right.
I'm curious to see what he's going to do in his opportunity as well.
Well, they do say about secondary, if you don't hear their name, that's a
Exactly.
good thing.
Exactly. That's why I said maybe it's a good thing. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, and I do know he got hurt in one of the preseason games. I think it was the second game.
Right.
But he's fine. I mean, I think he left the game early on. But, I mean, I think he's a guy that could probably play, like, the high slot where, like, Malcolm Jenkins played.
Right.
That linebacker position, rushing the quarterback every now and then. So, I'm excited for him. I liked it at Clemson 2 years ago. I was very excited. I thought he was going to be a second or third round pick. We wound up getting him in the fourth round. So
Right.
I like Von Wallace a lot.
Yeah.
Or I'm hopeful for him, really.
Right.
We really haven't
Yeah.
seen anything. So
Exactly. And then kickers, punter, Jake Elliott, Aaron Stippis. No breakdown there, right?
Yep. The Aussie, Aaron Sippis.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's all I got.
That's it. That he's from Australia. That's all we know.
Fights those kangaroos.
All right. So again, we got 6 days till Eagles football. Before we move on here, give me your prediction for Sunday.
Sunday, I got 24-17 Eagles.
Okay.
What's that over under?
What's the over under at right now?
No. What would be how many? What's the total on that? I'm not a math guy, so what did I say? 24-17. Yeah, 41. So yeah, I got them 27. I'm sorry, 24-17 win.
24-17.
Yep.
Okay. I got. Let's see. How do I want? I got 27. 27-20. I got the loss though.
Okay.
27-20 loss.
Hey, I mean Atlanta has a good offense. They score a lot
I
of
lied.
points.
Hold
It's
on.
just they give up a lot.
Hold on.
I got you.
I lied. That's not my prediction.
I think
Now
I
I'm
know why.
backtracking here. Yeah, exactly. I'll get to that a little later. Let's go.
That's why I had to do it too.
31-27. There you go.
Lost still?
Loss, yeah.
Okay. I had to do it too because I have it as well. We'll talk about that in a little
more
bit.
sense
but-
later. Let's go into that now. We got a new segment on the show. Every week during football season, we're going to do it. It's going to be called Against the Spread, and we're basically going to pick 5 games each week. We're going to pick 3 against the spread and 2 over unders. We're going to try to do props, but on Monday the props aren't out yet for the players.
I think only Thursday's game was.
Actually, I looked. There was like 2 Sunday games that were up
Okay.
as we started. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Right, exactly. So we're gonna do 3 spreads, 2 over unders. Dom, do you want to go first, or want me to go first?
Yeah.
You go first.
Let's go back and forth. You go first. You give one and I'll give one, and then we'll
All
go
right.
back and forth.
So let's start with the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna take the Panthers -5.
You want to hear something really funny?
Do you also have
the
that game?
exact same thing. The Panthers
right.
-5. I really like that line a lot, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. So then let's go to the LA Chargers against the Washington football team. I'm going because for some reason they still don't have a name. I'm going with the LA Chargers -1.
Okay. I looked at that game. I liked it. But I decided to go in another direction. I got the Vikings at the Bengals. I got the Vikings -3.
Okay. Vikings -3. I
Even
got
though
to
they're on the
write
road.
this. I got to write this down now because I don't know if I mentioned it. We're gonna tally them up at the end of the year for bragging rights. So I'm gonna tally these down to see how. So who was it? Vikings minus what?
-3 at the Bengals.
-3.
I know it's kind of crazy to take the road team, but
Yeah, I mean, I did it with LA, with the LA
Right.
Chargers and the Washington football team. All right, so I will go again. I'm going to go in Kansas City, where they host the Cleveland Browns. I'm taking the Browns +6.5.
wow. Okay. That's
plus 6.5.
That's
a big
that's
line.
likely. Yeah. Yeah, it's
It's a very big
big.
line.
Especially for that good offense. So I could see them winning or going within that 6.5.
Right.
So the third game that I have, the Cardinals at the Titans, I got the Cardinals +3. It's going to be tough.
Cardinals +3. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Arizona offense fan. A lot of people are high on Kyler Murray. I don't really see it. I think
Neither do I.
I think their coach sucks. So I mean,
I agree.
A lot of people are expecting the Titans to be really good this year. So that's an interesting line.
Dude,
+3.
I agree with everything you just said,
and you still
but I
went
just
that
took them. Yeah. Yeah, I just took them just for fun.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so then those are our three spreads. So again, I have Panthers -5, Chargers -1, Browns +6.5. You have Panthers -5, Vikings -3, Cardinals +3,
Yep.
and then over unders now. I got the Jaguars and Texans game under 45.5.
Okay.
under 44.5.
Okay, I like that. The first one I got, we're going back to that Browns at Chiefs. I have the over at 52.5. So that's why I really like your line, your spread. So
Okay.
you picking them. So because I do think it's going to be a high scoring game.
Yeah, I
It's-
agree.
Yeah, over 52.5.
All right, and then for my last over/under, I alluded to it with the Eagles game
Yeah.
because I needed to make sure it got over because I got the Eagles and Falcons over 48 points.
Okay, I actually have the Eagles at the Falcons under 48. Yeah, that's why I had to make sure 24 plus 17 was under 48.
That's actually
So-
perfect. All
So,
right. So there you
yeah.
have it.
There's a couple games that I really like this week too. The Packers and the Saints. I looked at. It started out as I think it was 2.5 or 3, and then the game got moved, and then the spread came off. We had talked about that over text message, and then I think the game's played in Jacksonville or something.
I
or in
believe so.
Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so.
And then it bumped up to what, 4.5?
4.5. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, you know what? I can the Packers, if I was going to do it, I was going to do Packers -4.5. Can the Packers win by 5 or more? Yeah. But I didn't really want to
Right.
chance that, you know?
I get it. Yep. Absolutely.
And I also like the Seattle and Colts game. I like both, actually. So I couldn't decide if I wanted to go. It was
Yep.
2.5. I couldn't decide if I wanted to go Seattle +2.5 or Indy -2.5. So
Right.
that's why I kind of decided to go with the Cardinals +3.
Absolutely. All right. Did you have anything else football-wise?
No, man.
We're almost there. But did you watch any college football this week? Did you watch any of the Notre Dame game?
I didn't because for a crazy reason. My streaming service, so I stream everything. I don't have cable. I don't have ABC. So I was like
Oh, okay.
at 7:28, I was like screaming that I couldn't watch the game.
All right.
But I
No,
heard it was a great game. I followed.
it
I
was.
scoreboard watched. So
Yeah, we watched it. We just put a fire pit out in the backyards. We had
Yeah.
a fire going. We had a big projector in the backyard. It was a really cool setup.
Oh, nice.
Did you happen to see what Brian Kelly said post game?
yeah. So
Listen to this. I'll play it.
Game had it all. What did you think of your team's ability to withstand Florida State's impressive comeback?
Yeah, I'm in favor of execution. Maybe our entire team needs to be executed after tonight.
he's gonna get a lot of trouble for that.
He didn't mean that. It's just a
No.
poor. He fumbled his words around.
Apparently, it was said before by like another coach or something.
Really?
Like that's where he got it from. They asked him about it today, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I thought everybody thought it was funny because it's been said before, and like by some fucking other Notre Dame coach or whatever. And he's like, I just thought people were gonna laugh about it. But dude, like, you can't, like, it's 2021. You can't say that shit about college kids. Like,
Did you gonna kill them?
execute them. What are they gonna do? Like, put them in a line and just chop their heads off? Like,
That's so funny.
it's crazy. I did watch a little bit of the Georgia Clemson game though. That was
boring.
That was
like
a
10
snooze
to-
fest.
Yeah, it was like 10-3. I think was the
Yeah.
final.
Dude, I was so hyped for it. Like, I was at my mom's house on Saturday night. Like, had the TV going. I was like, all right, let's do Clemson, Georgia. I really like Georgia this year. And I stayed till halftime, and I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna fall asleep here.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Want to go Sixers or Phillies? Or not Phillies, Flyers. Which one do you want to go? You
We're
want
gonna
that
go
with
trivia?
Oh, you know what? I forgot about trivia. Yeah, let's do trivia. All right, I forgot.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks.
It has been a couple weeks. Yeah, let's do trivia.
All right, so everybody knows the drill. Pause after I read the question. Maybe get it yourself, and then hit the play button. So, all right, so we got 1 Phillies, 2 Flyers, and 2 Eagles. What do you want to go?
Let's go Eagles first.
All right, so we'll go the Birds first. Okay, so there's kind of a theme here where like these are crazy stats. Okay, so
All right, so I'm not gonna get these. Then is what you're saying?
I mean, you might get them. They're not like the craziest questions in the world. Okay, so the first Eagles question: there have been 5 Eagles players who have had kickoff returns for 100 yards or more, but none longer than this player at 107 yards return as a rookie in 2014. Who was that player?
2014.
So this player in 2014, his rookie year, returned for the longest in Eagles history at 107 yards for a kick return. I actually remember this game very clearly. They played the Tennessee Titans, I believe. It was either the Titans or the Rams. Doug's
going
gonna kill me for that.
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was drafted a year or two prior to this. So I don't think I'm right, but I'm going to not. Fuck. Jeremy Maclin is the only one that came to my mind, but I'm gonna say Jeremy Maclin.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
It is not Jeremy Maclin.
Yeah.
Jeremy Maclin was drafted 09.
Was it or not? I thought it was
Yeah.
more closer to 12, but okay.
So this player was caught with a gun on the Walt Whitman Bridge. His name is Josh Huff.
Okay. I never would have gotten Josh Huff.
Yeah, it was like a 1 o'clock
like,
game.
He completely left my mind.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you who that is anymore.
Yeah. Yep. So he was caught with a gun, and then I don't think he ever played for the Eagles again. So
No.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Because he was
all right.
he was going like 80 or 90 over the bridge. I think is the reason they stopped
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. Yep. So So okay. So the next Eagles one. So Tommy McDonald had 13 touchdown catches in 12 games in 1960, which is the second most in a season for the Birds. Who holds the first place spot with 14 touchdowns in 14 games?
14. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna go Carmichael.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
It is not Harold
Is
Carmichael.
it quick?
It is not Mike Quick.
Is it somebody recent?
Within the last 20 years.
I didn't think it was him. A T.O.?
Yeah.
It was T.O. Damn. I was gonna go T.O., but I didn't think he had that many touchdowns.
Yeah.
I knew he had a shitload of yards. I didn't realize he had that many touchdowns.
Yep. The most in Eagles history in a single
Jesus
season.
Christ. And he was only
Yep.
here for 1 year. Like, that should have lasted so much longer. Jesus Christ.
Did you see what he said today or yesterday?
No.
That
It's always in the
he
news.
he wanted to box McNabb. He wanted to fight McNabb.
Listen, I mean, if
He said something about Campbell's chunky. He's like, I have to find exactly what he said, but he's like, yeah, Campbell's chunky. I'll make him chunky or something like that. It was fucking weird.
I mean, listen, if the Paul brothers can sell out arenas, I think a fight between McNabb and T.O. would do wonders.
Oh, for sure.
That would be a sellout event.
They should just have it at at Lincoln Financial Field.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
like Xfinity. Just do it at Xfinity.
Yeah, just on the street at Xfinity. That's all
Roy
you
Patterson.
need.
All
All
right.
right. What's your
Where do you want to go here? What's that?
Would you have Phillies Flyers?
Oh, shit. I have 2 Flyers and 1 Phillies.
Let's go the Phillies.
Okay. So, can you name the pitcher who holds the record for most home runs allowed in Major League history over the career? This pitcher played for the Phillies and pitched over 4,000 career innings. So this pitcher holds the record for most home runs allowed in MLB history over their career, but he did pitch for the Phillies for 5 years or whatever it was.
Can you tell me what years he pitched? I mean, that's a long.
I can't because it might give it away.
That might give it away.
I mean, it's not like 1958.
Yeah, no, I know. I got you.
You know
Christ.
the guy. He pitched over 4,000 career innings.
That's a lot.
I can give you another hint.
Let's go because he pitched a long fucking time. Let's go Jamie Moyer.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
You got it.
That is
Yep.
okay.
It's Jamie Moyer. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like, I think he's like one of the very few pitchers that has beaten like every single team in the majors.
Yeah.
He's probably played for every team in the majors.
He pitched till he was what, 45, 46?
46, 47, yeah.
Yeah. It's insane.
I mean, he's a local guy too, so
Right.
always his dream to pitch for the Phillies, and he finally got to do it at 45 and won a World Series.
Right. Yeah.
He's a big
That's
part
it.
of that World Series too.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he you know the cliche, like, you gotta pitch, not throw. Like, he just was a good
Right.
pitcher. Like, that's it.
Well,
All
yeah, I
about
mean,
location.
they were going up against guys for 3 nights in a row who pitched in the mid 90s, and then by the third game, these guys are pitching against
timing
Jamie,
is all off.
batting against Jamie Moyer's throwing 78, 78 miles an hour. So
Yeah, but he put him in the right spot, though.
right. Okay, so
So I'm 1 for 3 so far.
1 for 3 so far. You got 2 flyers here.
All right.
This one blew my mind. So this
Okay.
player holds the NHL record for most 5-on-3 shorthanded goals ever, with 3 career goals in all of hockey. He played for the Flyers. Who is this player?
I know Richards was really good at shorthanded goals. He had a knack for it. Let's go Mike Richards.
Is that your final answer?
My final answer.
It is correct. Mike
Okay.
Richards. So he holds the most 5-on-3 in NHL history. I believe Gretzky has the most shorthanded on 5-on-4.
Okay.
But
5-on-3 is hard as shit to score.
yeah. 3 goals. Like, that's
Yeah.
insane.
And that's the record.
Right.
Yeah. That's
All right.
nuts.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, wow, that's a really good trivia.
Yeah.
So, okay, the last one we got is Flyers. Ron Hextall owns the most wins as a Flyers goalie with 240. Bernie comes in second with 231. Who comes in third with 104?
Steve Mason.
Is that your final
That's
answer?
my final answer.
You got it.
There you go.
You're 3 for 5 tonight.
Hey, that's a solid night.
That's probably your best night.
Yeah. Well, again, 5 for 5 when Dom was on.
Oh,
I'm just gonna
stop
say
it. That doesn't count.
All right, 3 for 5. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
There's
well,
some
let's-
crazy stats, though.
Yeah, that is nuts. They don't. You must have really did your research this week.
Actually, dude, like, honestly, sometimes it takes me hours to find stuff. This stuff literally took like 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, so it was an easy week.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, let's go Sixers, right? With all this Ben Simmons drama, I just want it to stop. It doesn't seem like it's going to anytime soon. Yeah, Joel Embiid going on a little Twitter rant. They sending out 4 or 5 like tweets that he seems pissed off and angry. I don't know what's going on. What's going on with this Ben Simmons drama?
Man, I tried to come up with a timeline for us. It's been tough.
It's hard to.
It's a
all
novel.
over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a novel. It's a lot of he said, she said kind of shit going on. But just basic stuff like, when the playoffs ended, it was, we're going to have a meeting with the Sixers, Clutch Sports Agency, his agent, Rich Paul sat down with the Sixers, and nobody knew what it was about, and people speculated that it was Ben Simmons saying, I don't want to be here anymore, but nothing really came out. And then a couple weeks went by, and the whole Damian Lillard thing started again, and, like, the Olympics were going on, so, like, you couldn't, there really was nothing going on at the same time. And then things got kind of quiet for 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden, now Ben Simmons wants out of Philly, and he won't show up for training camp. And then it's Tyrese Maxey, also, who is with Rich Paul and Clutch Sports, is not going to show up in Philly, and he wants to be traded with Ben Simmons. And then 2 days later,
Who the fuck are you, Rich Paul? Like,
right?
who
So-
like,
Yeah. So
if I'm Maxey, I'm firing my agent immediately.
yeah. So 2 or 3 days go by, and then things come out that that's not the truth, and that Rich Paul's fine with his player playing here, and Maxey. There's videos of Maxey wearing Sixers gear while he's training over in the off season.
Yeah, you know what that is? That's Maxey going to him and be like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Fuck up, yeah, right. So
dude, shut up.
then there's things that come out that say Rich Paul would like Maxey to be a part of the Ben Simmons trade, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, and he's fine with his client playing here, which I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're not the player, then you shouldn't fucking care where your guy plays, where your player plays.
Your job is to get the guy the best contract he can get, essentially.
Right.
Like
no matter
you
where
work
it is.
the contracts, and that's it. Yeah. Wherever the guy wants to go, you have no say in that. You're just goddamn agent. You do the numbers. You do the contracts. You do that shit.
But yeah, I mean, but one day it was this one reporter, I can't remember who it was, said that Maxey is in a deal with Simmons no matter what because Rich Paul wants it. And then the next day he backtracked and said I was wrong. That really never happened. So you don't know what to believe. I think all things are fine with Maxey. I think he's here next year unless he gets packaged with Ben Simmons. Then this whole thing with like Joel tweeting shit. It's been interesting.
Yeah, I can read them all out, and I agree, Don. He needs to go to Basketball Siberia. Where is that? Memphis, Minnesota, Toronto. Send him to one of those places.
Memphis is on the rise, man.
But it's still Memphis.
Yeah. But
like he wants to go to California. No, send him to Minnesota.
Right, we'll send you where
Send
the
him to
fuck we want to
Cleveland.
send you. Like,
Yeah.
who the fuck are you that says I want to go to California? Like, it
Right,
doesn't
yeah.
work like that. Like,
Not when you've proven to be a playoff failure for the last
Right.
3 years.
right.
Right. If you're LeBron James, sure, you can do that. You have that power. You have the talent or whatever. But
Right, you're not Kevin Durant. You're not LeBron
No.
James. You're not Kawhi Leonard. Like,
no.
what have all three guys have dictated where they've wanted to go. So,
Right. You're not
and
those
rightfully
guys.
so.
Right. Yeah, he wants to be a B-level player and have the A-level notoriety, fame, lifestyle.
Right. And I don't know if you saw, but Charles Barkley,
I did see this, I think.
what Charles said over.
Yeah, I
or
believe
last
I
week.
saw it. Are you pulling it up now?
Yeah, I'm trying. So Charles Barkley was on the radio Wednesday or Thursday. Trying to find exactly what he said. Bear with me, people. Okay, here it is. So he said,
you got it.
So this is Charles Barkley and Ben Simmons, word for word. So let me get this straight. We liked you enough to give you $200 million. The only thing we ask of you is to be a good basketball player. We're just saying shoot the ball, and he's mad and wants to leave town. This is total bullshit.
Yeah.
And he's spot on.
He's spot
Like,
on.
I love Charles. And
Charles Barkley's great.
yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. We're not asking this guy to be Superman. We're asking this guy to average 20 and 8 or 20 and 10.
Just-
You know what I mean? Like
Right,
just average 20
show
points.
us. Just show us you want to get better too. Like,
Right.
like Philadelphia is such an easy fan base to get the fan base tricked and have them fall in love with you. Like we've seen the pandering with Bryce Harper. We've seen it
Harper
to a
did
smaller
it in 2 seconds.
2 seconds. We've seen it to a smaller extent with Cam Atkinson with the Flyers. He's all in.
Right.
How excited he is to come to Philly. Like Joel Embiid, within the last year or two has really made the city fall in love with him because of his work ethic and his wantingness to get better. And I'm going to read his tweets in a second, but like it's really easy to get this fan base to fall in love with you. Just show us you want to get better. Just show us
Right.
just show us you're trying. That's literally it. It's
That's
not
it.
it's not
And-
hard.
And even if you're not getting better, like just shoot the ball and like just show
Right.
us, like you said, just show us that you're getting better or trying to get better. Like that's the thing is like Harper. Let's say Harper comes out in 2 seconds. I said I love this city. I want to be here for the next 50 years. Like he says that and then he goes out on the field and plays hard, even though he might strike out or his average might be down or he might get hurt or this, that, and the other. He's playing his ass off, and like that's what you appreciate from him. And it might be a little fake here and there. Like I know some people think it's like
He's definitely
a little bit of
pandering.
an act.
I maybe not anymore, but right away he was definitely pandering. There's no doubt about
right?
that.
But like
Wearing the
it's
Philly
not like a
fanatic
bad
cleats,
thing.
like it's not a bad thing, but like a
Right.
lot of people don't like the fakeness of it. But Like it's really
But I'll
easy to
take
get the
that
city
over.
to fall in love with you.
I'll take that over what Ben Simmons is doing every single day of the week.
For sure, dude. He's turning into the most hated athlete to leave the city of Philadelphia. Like, imagine
And
that first.
after Carson Wentz. Like, it's
Like,
so hard to beat Carson Wentz in that, and he just did it. Like,
Dude, imagine he gets traded to fucking Minnesota, right? The first game back, you got the Timberwolves in town against the 76ers.
right.
That's going to be a sold-out arena, not because it's the Minnesota Timberwolves against the Philadelphia 76ers. It's because Ben Simmons is coming to town, and we are going to rain booze down like you've never
for sure.
heard in the Wells Fargo Center.
For sure.
But he's also got the mentality that when he does come to town, he's probably not going to play that game. He's going to get a stomach ache. He's going to pull something. Like, that's just his mentality.
Right.
So I did want to read the Joel Embiid tweets. It's a little long, so bear with me here. So he quote tweeted a tweet from a rumor source or a rumor site. The Sixers reportedly had to pick between Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons per whoever. And then Joel Embiid tweets that and says, "Sources, trust me, bro. Stop using my name to push people's agendas. I love and hate drama. I love playing with Ben. Stats don't lie. He's an amazing player, and we all didn't get the job done. It's on me personally. I hope everyone is back because we know we're good enough to win."
Okay,
And then
wait. So before you go on, can I break that down for a
Go
sec?
for it.
Okay, so what I see in that is that in case Ben is back, he's saying in case Ben comes back and plays for the Sixers, he's got Ben's back, right? So
He's being a leader.
right, and he's cutting the drama in the locker room.
Yep.
So it's one thing to be drama on the court with another team. He's cutting the drama straight there through the locker room. What was the last part of that tweet? The last two sentences?
It's on me personally. I hope everyone is
Right.
back because we know we're good enough to win.
So, and I also do believe that he also feels at fault for losing as well because he is a competitor. He is
Yep.
somebody who's a leader. He is somebody who is getting better every day and trying to get better every day. So
Yep.
even if it was Ben Simmons' fault, Joel Embiid's that type of guy that, okay, it's my fault too. Like,
Right.
maybe it is mostly Ben's, but
Right.
I feel at fault too. So that's the first tweet that I...
Accountability, which Ben
Right.
Simmons has none of.
Exactly.
From my own experience, y'all have no idea how much his media makes up stuff for followers, and shame on you for believing them. I haven't forgotten, but 2 years ago, I got booed. People in Philly wanted me to be traded. I even shushed them. Only the real ones didn't. But I just put in the work that offseason to be better because I knew I wasn't playing up to my potential. Philly fans, y'all also gotta be better. And this is really the tweet that kind of blew up.
Yeah, and then he retweeted Joe Giglio from 94 WIP, like because Giglio crushed them like 2 years
he?
ago.
I didn't see that.
There was that's what he was talking about. There was a fan who called in, like that snippet got put on Twitter, and like I guess Joel saw it, and this fan was ripping him, and then Giglio ripped him, and then it just became this whole big thing. Which
Right.
we're not even gonna get to him, Giglio, or anything like that. But
No.
because we don't do that here. But
WIP's WIP, 97.5
Right.
is 97.5. We know what to expect from those stations.
Right. So, okay, let me get your take on it first. This specific tweet.
I think the 90% of this tweet, I think was I really liked what he had to say. The fact that like, hey, you guys boo me, that's what motivated me. I got better
Right.
because of it. But then the last line, he says, "Philly fans, you also got to be better." That it reminds me a lot of the recent Mets story in baseball with the fans booing and the players booing back because you guys can't boo me. You guys don't have the right. Like, no, the fans essentially pay your salary. The fans have every right to boo you when you're not playing well. Show up and go to work, and you won't get booed. You'll be loved. So it really the be better part really is the one that I didn't like at all.
Okay, and also to put on top with what you just said with the fans are the reason why you guys play. We also went through a really rough period of basketball, really since
Right.
Iverson left. Like,
Yep.
then going through those mediocre years where they were an 8 or 7 seed and lost in the first or second round, and they were just not getting better. And then we went through the process where we had to give up. We had 10 win seasons, and just gave up everything for the Sixers to be good, and But I also I don't love that he said that, but like at the same time, like the other part of the tweet, I don't think had to do anything to do with Ben Simmons. Not that it had nothing to do with Ben Simmons. I think it was this sense that like you guys have to be better because you crushed me and look at me now. Even though I use that criticism like to get better, like not everybody can do that. Like I believe that's what he said, right?
He says that next. He says, for clarity, I love the criticism. I love when I'm told I can't do something. It makes me work harder to prove everyone wrong, but not everyone is built like that.
Not everyone is built like that. That's the key part. I think not that it's a shot at Simmons, even if it is. Not that it's a shot at Simmons, but I think
Simmons.
No, but but even if he didn't mean it, I think it's like subconsciously a shot. Like what has Ben Simmons done? Like he obviously hasn't used the criticism to get better. So like,
Right.
I just think that like those last two tweets were just more so like not appreciate what you have, but like what am I trying to say here? Like you guys were rough on me, and like maybe you're not always right, and like but at the same time I use that criticism. Like I don't think it had to do much. I think it had to do more with Joel than and just the fans as a whole. Like with any player in this city, like look at Bryce Harper for instance. Like I don't know, we keep bringing him back up, but like earlier this year, like people in the last couple years, like people were not crazy about a $330 million contract for a guy that hits 270. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, like he's getting in the MVP race. Like,
right.
So like I think he means it as a whole. I don't think it necessarily means Ben Simmons, but at the same time, I really don't love, be better. Like,
I don't
we
need
be better. Like, this is Philadelphia. Like, this is Philadelphia. We work hard to pay for these tickets, and we go to the games, and we buy the merchandise, and we support you. And you have a $200 million contract that you just signed, and how does that make any sense?
Right, and I also think the be better part contradicts what he said 3 sentences prior. Like,
right.
Oh, you guys are the reason why I motivated myself to be better. So you guys also have to be better. But like, if we were better, quote unquote better,
right.
and we didn't push you to be harder, you wouldn't be a top 5 player in the league.
Right. I
think it
completely
contradicted itself.
Yeah, for sure. I'm so back and forth on it, like, because you love Joel and you love the work ethic and the fact that he's gotten better every year, and especially from last year to this year, from the bubble to this year, like, just the jump that he made, and you could tell that he wants it.
Yep.
And like,
and
I think he likes
Ben Simmons.
Right? And I think he likes Ben as a person. I think he likes Ben as a player. But like, he knows it's not going to work. Like, he knows he's not going to win a championship with Ben. That's great. You could go great. You could play great in the regular season and have this. You can have your regular season championship being the number 1 seed. But what the fuck does that mean in the playoffs? Like,
right?
You need a guard. Like, that's the thing. He needs a guard that is willing to shoot, that can hit shots, like Damian Lillard. Like that's the recipe to win.
Which isn't going to happen because it seems like he's staying in Portland
for now. Yeah, for now. So, I mean, and we could sit here and break down other contracts and like how we're not going to do that, but
no,
just how it kind of sets up the next couple of years. It's not looking good,
right?
With free agents and the way the contracts are working these next couple of years, it's just kind of really you're going to have to make a trade,
right? Yeah, and Ben Simmons can't be here. Like the Ben Simmons era is done in Philadelphia. It just has to be.
And I know I said before that that I didn't want to give him up for anything, and I didn't want
to that point.
What's that?
I said it's getting close to that point. I think.
Yeah. Like I said before, like I really didn't want C.J. McCollum for him, and I really like C.J. McCollum, who's in Portland with Damian Lillard. But I think if that's the absolute best offer you can get, you do it.
Yeah.
At this point, like 2 months ago,
it's gotten too messy.
Yeah. I mean, especially if he's not gonna. He said he's not going to show up to training camp. It's going to cost him $1.3 million. Like, good, good. Don't show up. I hope they trade him the day after training camp ends, and he's got to pay that 1.3, and it goes to a fucking charity. I really do. I really do.
Yeah.
But going back to the McCollum thing, I didn't think he was the right player. I just don't think he's that ball dominant like guard that needs to play with Embiid. But like I said, if he's the best option, like I don't know how Ben Simmons and Damian Lillard are going to play together, but that's not my issue. So
no, it's not. At this point,
we'll
just try to find a way to get rid of Simmons. It's really all it boils down to.
For the best option possible.
Right. All right. Let's move on to the Flyers. So it's not really Flyers news per se. I mean, we do have a signing to get to, but the NHL is returning to the Winter Olympics coming up in 2022. They took the last they took the last Olympics off. The owners didn't want the players to go because one, the injury aspect and.
Right, it's a business.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want their players.
assets.
They don't want their players playing in the Olympics getting hurt. It messes with the schedule. But the players really wanted it. They voted it, and it's for now. It's going to happen. There was like some sort of clause that says, if for a COVID related issue, the NHL always has the right to pull away last second. So that could always happen. But yeah, we're gonna see NHL players in the Olympics more than likely.
I'm so excited because that's my favorite part of the Winter Olympics.
Yep.
I usually like. It's funny because I like the summer games better, but the Winter Olympics more. Like, it's weird.
Just because, hockey's the big one in the Winter Olympics.
Right. So, it's definitely going to be fun to see our guys play. Hopefully we get to see a couple Flyers out there, but, it's definitely going to be exciting if it happens.
Right.
Because, obviously with the COVID issue, like you said, if it doesn't.
Absolutely. And, I mean, do you have any Olympics on his team? I mean, Drew's always been snubbed, so he's not making it. Couturier
not gonna
might
make it.
be close.
He can
but
play
I think
for
he's
the
on
Americans, can he?
I think so.
I think
he's
he could play for
he was
either.
Born in Arizona, but like he hasn't in the past. So there might be some sort of rule where if you have to claim one or the other. But he
I
hasn't
believe you
in the
can.
past.
I believe you can.
But he hasn't in the past. So he's been good enough to play in the past. So I don't.
Right. Well, 4 years ago, the NHL didn't play. The 4 years before that, he probably wasn't good enough to play on either team.
Right, maybe.
I'm just saying. I think there's a better chance he plays for the U.S. than Canada.
Maybe.
But I don't
know
think
what
he
the
plays.
rules are.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think he plays either. Who else? That's probably it, honestly.
Carter Hart's not playing.
Probably not. No.
Farabee's probably not playing.
No, they probably don't have
Atkinson, no. What about defense? Ryan Ellis? Probably not. Is he Canadian?
Yeah, probably not.
Ristolainen,
and
Provorov. Provorov will play for Russia.
Russia, yeah, maybe. I guess Provorov could maybe play. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Ristolainen will play, for Sweden.
Right.
Or Finland, wherever the fuck he's from.
One of those countries.
Viking. Yeah, he plays for the Vikings.
Right, exactly. He has a shot, I guess.
What do they call it? Not Nova Scotia, that's Canada.
The Nova Scotia's in Canada, yeah.
Whatever they call, like, the Finnish, Swedish people.
There's a name for that. Scandinavian?
Yeah. Scandinavian, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. All right. And then one last little bit of news before we get out of here. They did sign Joel Farabee to a extension, 6 years, $30 million, $5 million per year. Joel Farabee has played in 2 NHL seasons. His first season, 52 games, 8 goals, 13 assists. In his second season, 55 games played, 20 goals, 18 assists for 38 points.
Yeah. I hope his ceiling gets higher. What do you think about it?
I think it's probably a slight overpayment right now.
Right.
But in 2-3 years, if he continues to grow, then yeah. I mean,
could look like a steal.
It could look like a steal, yeah.
But then again, I mean, with the way that guys develop here, what happens if it goes the other way? You know what I mean? Like it could possibly go the other way.
Definitely.
I mean, you like Farabee. I like Farabee a lot, but like it way more than I do. So like, I don't know. Like, how could you like? Not that can you predict it, but like, how do you see his career going?
I think
from the beginning to now.
I think he'd be a perennial 30-goal scorer. I don't think he's really gonna push for 40 all that much because I mean that's like an elite goal scorer.
I'll sign me up for 30.
But I think he had 20 this year in 55 games.
Right.
And that's damn close to a 30-goal season, 30-goal pace.
I sign me up for 30, but I also want to see him put on weight too. Like I kind of think that's like been the issue with the Flyers too. Like in the last 15 years is like they draft these guys and just like kind of once they hit like a certain point, they kind of like stop putting weight and muscle on them. So like he looks small to me.
He is a little bit, yeah. He's 6 foot 164. So 164 is fucking tiny for 6 foot.
Yeah, it's Devontae Smith numbers.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I know that's not the way the game is played anymore, but like, look at like look at the top 10 players in the league, like
Right.
McDavid and Draisaitl and
Fast and
Matthews, Barkov, like all these guys that are big and fast, like you said, big and fast. Like, so I just kind of hope they kind of go in that direction with him.
Right.
Just put on that muscle and weight.
Absolutely.
But I like him so.
It's yeah. I mean, I think I was really surprised they did it this early. I think they're kind of. I think there's a pattern that's starting to happen. Like you saw the Sean Couturier contract happen sooner than everybody expected. The Joel Farabee signing happened before everybody expected. They really have one guy left,
Right.
and that's Claude Giroux. I think they're trying to figure out how much money they have for Claude Giroux.
Yeah, it's possible, and I think there was a report that came out that said like he didn't want to do it until after
I
the
don't think
season
both.
ends. And
I
I think,
don't think both sides want to really.
right, and we talked about that last week where you said
A little bit.
you think that depending on how the season goes, maybe that decides it whether he
Yep.
comes back or not. I mean, I'd really hate to see him leave, but I understand it if that's the case.
Right. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. I ultimately I do think he comes back, but like we'll see.
Right. So. All right. You got anything else?
How real quick? How much longer we got? What, like 4 weeks, 5 weeks still? Puck drop?
Till the NHL regular season. The
Yeah,
regular
well,
season
the preseason starts in a couple weeks, right?
right. Yeah. The regular season starts October 12th.
Okay, so when's training camp started yet?
Not. The development camp has for the rookies.
Right. Okay. And then training
that
camp starts
started.
has to start
probably within the next couple weeks, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's got to be in the next 1 or 2 weeks because preseason's
Right.
coming up.
Yeah, I don't know the
Regular
exact
season's
date.
a month
I'll
away.
have that. I'll have that next week. I'll have what date it starts. I don't know off
Right.
the top of my head.
Okay.
So.
All right. I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready for puck drop. I'm ready for Ben Simmons to get the fuck out of here. I'm ready for fucking Eagles football. Next episode, we'll be recapping week 1. I'm ready for Thursday night. I'm ready for the Cowboys to
Absolutely.
lose. I'm ready for Mike Evans to catch 14 touchdowns on Thursday night because of fantasy. I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. Before we get out of here, I am rocking the Phired Up hoodie. So there you go.
Let's go.
Go get those. Our stores are online: Facebook, Twitter. You can go to our social media pages. They're posted there. Check out Belly Up Sports, bellyupsports.com, and we will see you guys next week.